Greg Ehrenberg from Odd Chopper here to break down a tiny Tuesday NBA slate. As you come in, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment below to let me know what questions you have on tonight's games, what you think of my bets. Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Or do you just have other comments that you want to get to me? Maybe there was a bet that I didn't talk about that you think is really good value you want to mention below in the comment section. Whatever it is, we appreciate all of the engagements that we get here. And, as for the Tuesday NBA slate, there are only 3 games: Celtics, Thunder, Wizards, Bucks, and then finally we have the Kings playing the Utah Jazz. So also some blowout potential because nearly double-digit spreads in the OKC Boston game as well as in the Milwaukee Washington game. So that is also something to keep an eye on for tonight, is a potential for starters not be playing in the fourth quarter of a couple of those games. So not going to say this is the best betting slate of the entire season, but there are a couple of spots that I found some value in that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And then also potential for more value to open up later on the day because, as per usual, when it comes to the NBA injury reports, there's a lot of players on. We've got Bradley Beal listed as questionable, Kevin Huerter is questionable, Malik Monk is questionable, and Robert Williams is also questionable. That is in the Boston Celtics game. So that's stuff that could definitely have some sway in terms of bets I'd potentially be looking at. If Bradley Beal plays, I don't mind taking a shot on the Wizards as long shots, at least as far as the spread is concerned in that game, with them being 8-point underdogs. If Bradley Beal was to play, I wouldn't mind taking a stab on that. But first, let's break down my mediocre results from yesterday's betting slate. I had 3 bets, ended up going 1-2 on them. And one of the bets in hindsight, I ended up regretting, and that was I was on the Pelicans plus 5.5, mainly because my main reason for betting the Pelicans as 5.5-point underdogs is that I didn't think Joel Embiid was going to play. Well, Joel Embiid ended up playing, but not the end of the world because I still thought, obviously, there's potential for the Pelicans to end up covering in that spot. The game is tied in the fourth quarter. Zion Williamson pulls a hamstring, isn't able to return to the game, and the Pelicans just kind of came unraveled from there. So it was a game that I thought they would have had a good chance to cover had Zion not gotten hurt, but either way, there was no real value had on that spot after Joel Embiid played, and I bet the number at 5.5. It moved to 4. And then once it kind of seemed like there was a chance Embiid was going to play, I probably should have just cashed out or hedged the bet, and it would have worked out just fine for me. But tried to roll with it, and it ultimately didn't end up covering. The other 2 bets I had, one was on Tyrese Halliburton for over 2.5 threes. He finished with 2, just was a spot where he didn't get there. I didn't mind that bet. And then one other bet I had that won pretty easily that I liked quite a bit was Kevon Looney for over 2.5 assists. He hit his 3rd assist in the second quarter, and that one was fairly sweat-free. So overall, I thought the Looney bet was good. The Halliburton bet was whatever. He just didn't end up getting there. And then the Pelicans bet plus 5.5, pretty shitty bet in hindsight that I had regrets about. But we move on to Tuesday. These are my favorite bets for the 3 games we have to work with. To start us off, I'm going to be betting Kelly Olynyk for over 2.5 assists, and a great game environment going up against the Sacramento Kings. They played a really fast pace. They have one of the worst defensive efficiencies in the NBA, and the same could be said for the Utah Jazz. As a result, 242.5-point total, one of the biggest totals that we've seen of the entire regular season. And Olynyk is working his way back from an injury and was somewhat limited his first couple games back, but last game, we saw him play total full allotment of minutes against the Miami Heat. He ended up playing 34 minutes, had 6 assists in that game. And let's go back and look at some of the games Kelly Olynyk had before getting injured, where he was really playing well for the Utah Jazz. Starting at center for them, we go back to December 15th, his last game prior to getting injured. He had 3 assists in that game, and the games before that, 3 assists, 3 assists, 3 assists, 4 assists, 5 assists, 6 assists. One game where he missed against the Pacers was a blowout where he only had 1 assist, and then before that, 3 assists, 4 assists, 3 assists. So overall for the year, Kelly Olynyk is averaging over 3 assists per game. And if you look at those numbers that I just referenced, prior to getting injured, he had a long string of games where he had 3 or more assists, which is what we're looking for him to get to for the purpose of tonight's bet. 2.5 assists. Now that he no longer has any kind of minutes restrictions, starting at center for the Utah Jazz tonight in a great matchup against the Kings. 2.5 assists, I think it's a little bit too low for Olynyk. 3.5 is what I think the fair number is. So I'm going to be betting Olynyk for over 2.5 assists. Here's the easiest way for you guys to make $200 today. There's a new offer from DraftKings Sportsbook with the new year starting, and all you have to do to make $200 is basically sign up by clicking on the link below, because after you use that link, your first $5 bet that you place at DraftKings Sportsbook is going to pay out $200 regardless of what ends up happening as far as the results in the games go. So I just mentioned a bet that I really like, Kelly Olynyk over 2.5 assists. Here's what you could do. Sign up, click on the link below at DraftKings Sportsbook, head on over to the site, place a $5 bet on Kelly Olynyk for over 2.5 assists. And regardless whether it ends up winning or losing, DK Sportsbook is going to pay you out $200. But also, I think this is a pretty good bet. I think you have a pretty good chance to win that $5 bet, regardless of the results. But either way, this is a no-brainer from DraftKings. You can't lose. Just make sure when you sign up, use our link below so you get credit with that $200 after your first bet settles. Now, the other bet that I'm looking at for today, it's going to come right from BetPro. That is our new NBA betting prop tool that we have over at Stokastic.com. You guys can get a 7-week free trial to by clicking on the link below and signing up. It is Brook Lopez for over 1.5 blocks for the year. He's among the league leaders in the NBA. He's averaging 2.6 blocks per game. And out of 35 games that Brook Lopez has played this year, he's in multiple blocks in 25 of them. So the 1.5 block prop looks a little bit low when you consider the kind of block numbers that we've seen from Brook Lopez this year. And then also when it comes to Lopez, matchup against the Washington Wizards, fairly decent one. This is expected to be a pretty high-paced game, total 234.5 at the time that I'm recording. And we have Brook Lopez projected for north of 2 blocks today, which makes sense considering he's among the league leaders, 2.6 blocks per game. So Brook Lopez is also second right now in terms of the Defensive Player of the Year futures odds at pretty much every single sportsbook right now. I've got Jaren Jackson Jr. as the betting favorite to win the award, Brook Lopez coming in second, and then beyond that, everybody's just kind of a long shot. And a lot of it has to do with the rim protection numbers from Brook Lopez this year. He has been excellent in the paint. He's rejecting a whole bunch of shots. Like I said, 2.6 blocks per game, 25 out of 35 games with multiple blocks, and that's all we need from him today. 2+ blocks. The over-under is 1.5. I'm going to be leaning towards the over. So recapping my bets for today, and just a couple of them with it being a 3-game NBA slate and a whole lot of players currently on the injury report, which could be changing some stuff. But I like these bets. Kelly Olynyk over 2.5 assists, Brook Lopez over 1.5 blocks. And later on the day, good chance that I'm going to find a couple or at least one more bet that I like, particularly in the DraftKings head-to-head market. It's something that I've been really successful in lately. And we hit another one last night. It was for Trae Young to have less turnovers than Jordan Poole. So hopefully once some more of the injury reports come out and players get ruled in, get ruled out, some DraftKings head-to-head markets get posted, and I'll have one of those bets that I think should have good value. I'll try to post one of those in the Discord channel. If you guys want 1 week free access to, just click on the link below in the description box. But other than that, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Before you leave, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel.